Welcome to Story Time with Unholy Robert. It was my freshman year in high school, and I hadn't made a lot of friends. Mainly just two friends. One that was friends with me in 8th grade, and another that I had just met that year. We'll call him Al for privacy's sake. But when we first met, we felt we really didn't have a lot in common. We didn't communicate a lot in class. So it took a rather dramatic event to bring me and Al together as friends in 9th grade. I went to a different high school than most. It wasn't for like learning disabled kids, but it was for kids that would act out in class and kind of be delinquent, you know. A lot of these kids were very high IQ, but we just couldn't behave in class. So they made a school for those kids called the School to Work program, for which both me and Al were sent to. All different walks of students in this school, you know. You had your rich kids that hated their parents. You had the poor white trash kids like me that were just sick of their lives and acting out. And then you had the bullies that were just bullies because they wanted to be bullies. And there was this one particular classmate, I'll call him Sean, close, no cigar, but yeah, he'd bully the shit out of everybody, except me. For some reason he didn't bully me. I don't know, maybe he was scared of me. Was a weird looking teenager, long hair, all black, always looked pissed off. But he picked on the Al student a lot, called him lots of names, made fun of where Al came from, a not white trash family, a family that was actually well off, so a lot of the kids at that school would give him shit for it, including Sean. So as the year progresses and things get rather more and more dramatic, because, you know, Sean just keeps picking on Al, just picking and every fucking day, putting gum in his hair, you know. I wasn't even really friends with him yet. I was just observing from afar, you know, what was happening to this classmate. You know, I didn't think we would be friends or have anything in common. But it was the last week before spring break, and Al had gotten a new car, and his parents had given him a little bit of some money, some allowance money. And the Sean guy found out pretty easily. And well, back to how I was doing in school. I'll just straight up tell you, I was selling weed in school. I was a weed seller. I sold lots of pot. I come from a family of, you know, people that smoke pot and would sometimes grow and sell pot, you know. And I was doing favors for other kids at the school, and, you know, I didn't want to get involved in really any of the other students. You know, they all seemed pretty lame and kind of just lame, you know, just uninteresting people. But the Al kid comes to me early school morning and asks, "Hey man, can you get me any weed?" I was like, surprised, because he didn't look like it. He didn't look like a person that smoked weed at all, you know. So I was like, yeah, I can get you some. I don't have any right now to sell. I got some to smoke, but tomorrow I can get you some. Out of politeness, I was like, hey man, you want to come over to my house after school and hang out in my room and I'll smoke one with you, and then you can give me the money and I can give it to you tomorrow. He was like, yeah, that's cool. I'll come over. Yeah, sure, why not? Then he came over that day after school, rode his bike from his house, and I smoked one with him, and I'll be damned. Found out the kid's actually pretty cool. He's not lame that much, and he wasn't very uninteresting. We had a few things in common. He liked heavy metal, he liked comic books, he played a musical instrument, just like me. So we had a pretty cool night of kind of bonding and becoming good acquaintances. Before he leaves, he gives me the money. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go get that for you. I'll give it to you tomorrow before you walk into school. We'll meet up in the parking lot, yada, yada, yada. So we meet up that morning, and I'm like handing him the stuff. It's all cool. He gave me the money that night before. So, the transaction was all finished, and he was like, we go in his car and like smoke one and talk a little more, get more acquainted. He wraps it up, amateurishly puts it in his top pocket of his coat, and we both get out of the car. I go more far from the school so I can smoke a cigarette and not get in trouble, But while I'm over there smoking a cigarette, I notice Al getting more out of his car, getting ready to go into the school, and the Sean dude shows up and starts like getting really close up to him, giving him kind of, hey, what's up? What you got going on? What you got going on? Yeah, you smell like weed. You got some weed? And I was like, looking and seeing and hearing, and it's like, dude, man, he's really in his business, man. Is he gonna rob this dude? And like, it's like I almost predicted it, man. It's just freaking the Sean kid just like fucking punches him right in the face. It's like cheap shot out of nowhere, basically. Grabs the weed out of his front pocket, gets in his car, and just takes off and skips the day for school. Like crazy. And this was the kid paid a pretty good amount of money for this sack of weed from me. So I was like, holy shit, dude. I am so fucking sorry. And this is where like I kind of had my like school reality kind of just like ripped away, because I found out that a couple kids were scared of me, but the Sean dude wasn't. And I thought I could just go right up to him and say like, hey dude, give that Al dude his shit back right now. And I tried to do that the next day, and I'm telling him this while he's like sitting in his front seat of his car, with the window cracked open. And like I said, I'm gonna tell you a second time, dude, give this dude his shit back. And he's like, no, I smoked it all anyway. And I'm like, well, at least give him the money back. It's his money. He's like, no, fuck you. I ain't afraid of you. You're a fucking bitch. You're a scumbag. Dirt poor kid, He's one of those rich bitch kids. And like, so I just go stick my hand, it's, the open window with the window open, and I put my freaking hand around his fucking neck, and he fucking starts driving off with my fucking hand still in through the fucking window. Dude nearly fucking dragged me with him and almost fucking killed me. So I let go just before too much momentum builds up. And I just had it, you know. Now I was gonna get involved in these kids' lives or whatever. And this, so like, I was in, man. I was ready for war with this Sean dude. Yeah, it was about right and wrong with the Al guy. And, it became about the lack of disrespect towards me. And kind of my pride, too. So that night, I got ready, I prepared. Practiced all my fight moves, my left hook, having to earth headbutts, got sweep kicks, roundhouse kicks, blocking, even taped shards of glass to the bottom of my steel toe boots. I was ready, I was pissed. Felt like the dude almost killed me. And I was a really long-haired kid. I had hair, all the way down to my shoulders, like any metalhead kid in the late 90s, early 2000s, and as like to celebrate my walking over to the other side and standing up for myself in like a new, the tough guy chapter, I shaved my head, also as kind of like I wanted to surprise people the next day, So that morning, I walked to school, I'm all ready. I'm just waiting by the pine trees, waiting for Sean to park his car, and I got my hoodie over my head to cover my bald head, my new shaved bald head. Yeah, I wanted to be dramatic with this one. And I see Sean getting out of his car, acting all happy, acting all arrogant, with that fish lips smile on his fucking face. And he goes to that typical, side of the school where all the kids go to smoke cigarettes. And my luck, he's there by himself, Surely a few of his friends on the way. That's the later part. So I'm ready. I'm ready to pounce, And I just go over from like 20 feet away from him, basically hide and sitch. And I'm just calling him a bunch of shit. Of course, I'm making fun of his fish lip fucking face. And, and he's like, oh, okay, you want to fight me? You want to fight me? Come over, come and get it, come and get it. And I'm smoking my cigarette, I'm smoking it, it's down to like the butt, it's almost the butt. And my reaction to what he said, come and get it, and me being my cigarette down to a butt, all I could really think to do was to take my hoodie off, let everyone be surprised by my bald head, take my cigarette butt, throw it at him, and the fucking thing landed right in the crevice of the neck of his shirt and went down his shirt into his pants. And while he's trying to get that, burning cigarette out of his, out of his clothes, being trapped in there and all that, he was distracted. So I just ran up to him, pounced on him like a football player, and I put my knees on his chest and I just started punching his face like crazy. It was like the fucking kid from A Christmas Story when he finally got on that yellow-eyed weird bully kid. It was just, I was pouncing like crazy and punching like crazy. But little did I know, his friends were behind me. And one of them was grabbing a knife. But Al was there too. Luckily, he grabbed the kid that was about to jab me for punching on his buddy and smashed him down too and went and called the teachers. He got expelled, and after that, me and Al became really good friends, actually. He stopped me from getting it stabbed, and I beat up his bully. Thanks for listening.